feel like I look like a 50s housewife. Hello lovely people. Oh yikes. Hello lovely people and welcome back to this week's new video. I am finally getting to episode 2 of my series Smash or Pass that I started in November of last year and haven't put out a video, so basically a year ago. And this video has taken such a long time to film, but as you can tell from the title, episode 2 of my Smash or Pass series is going to be for Hannah from A Clockwork Reader. I picked 5 of Hannah's favorites. Hopefully they're her favorites. I looked at some of her tier ranking videos for her fantasy books. They were on her Goodreads and whatnot. So the 5 books that I chose are here. 2 of them were audiobooks and the other 3 I actually purchased. A lot of the books Hannah reads are fantasies and I don't read a lot of fantasy. Okay, 4 of them were fantasies. That's cool, I'm just now realizing. Simon Snow is the chosen one and he is not really good at magic though. He struggles between trying to figure out how to get his wand to work. Sometimes everything works out, but not exactly in the way that he envisioned. So he has a terrible roommate who is possibly a vampire, and his girlfriend broke up with him and his mentor is avoiding him. It's his last year at magic school and he's just trying to get by. So a couple days ago I began the first book for Hannah's favorites, which is Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. I'm listening to it on audio. I didn't get to it at all yesterday, which is why it's taking me a little bit longer to finish it, even though it's an audiobook and I'm only 13% of the way through. I just wanted to let you know my first impressions and thoughts about this. It reminds me a lot about Harry Potter, which I feel like during this time is a little bit touchy, especially after transphobic comments that were made. It just reminds me of it because Simon is like the one and he's the chosen one. There's a prophecy that says that, and there is the mage who is like the Dumbledore figure, the mentor, and molding Simon and preparing him, and he has very little friends and kind of seen as an outcast and was raised with the non-magical people, is always sent back to the non-magical people and doesn't really have a lot of communication with them. Just a lot of like weird parallels. So far I don't really have like definitive thoughts. I just think about that every time. I don't really know what else to say. Just finished Carry On and I think I'm gonna give it 2.5 or 3 stars. I couldn't help but immediately realize that there are a lot of similarities to Harry Potter and the story just felt really unoriginal. The number one is that, you know, there's magic in the world, they're also British, and it's literally like the same chosen one trope, and he has like a band of 3 friends, enemy, and the spells just seemed kind of ridiculous. Like they're literally nursery rhymes like Twinkle Twinkle Little Stars. It seemed like lazy writing, like you couldn't really do your research and come up with something a little bit more. I appreciated in the book and in people's reviews that were saying that this is a lot more diverse than Harry Potter, which I completely understand. Baz is gay and Penny, like the sidekick, the best friend, is Indian. Oh, and Baz is also part Egyptian, I think. The reason why Hannah liked this, I saw her review, she gave it 4.5 stars, but she liked it because it was more character driven and she really just fell in love with the characters. She said she fell in love with vampires again because of Baz. I could understand that. I think I was more interested in the characters than the plot, but the characters just seemed plain. I also feel like because they were in their last year of school, there just wasn't any backstory. I mean, maybe if I had read Fangirl, I would have known about them a little bit. I just felt like since it's their last year in school, we are sort of just thrust into that story, and the relationship between Simon and Baz and even just their rivalry sort of comes out of nowhere. You have no idea why we should hate Baz and then suddenly just be on board with them making out. The world of magic just didn't seem realistic to me. I mean, I know it's not supposed to, but it just like, I didn't like it. It also doesn't help that people didn't really like Wayward Son. Not off to the best start. Six of Crows is also a duology within the Grishaverse, and it's following Kaz Brecker and this band of criminals, basically these young outcasts, and they are hired to go on a deadly heist to free a shoe scientist. You probably won't make it back from this heist is what Kaz has been told, and it's just about these 6 thugs and thieves, an impossible heist. I am a little over 50% of the way through of Six of Crows. I did read the original Grishaverse with the Shadow and Bone trilogy, and I always feel like with Leigh Bardugo books, I mean those are the only books that I have read by her, but you're kind of thrown into that fantasy world very, very quickly. I read up to part 4 before I went to bed last night, and this book is taking me a really long time to finish. It has nothing to do with this book, more about my physical reading slump. That's not to say that I'm not enjoying this at all. I really love the sprayed edges of these. I've been a little bit confused, had to look some things up only to realize that it just wasn't explained in the book so far, like the relationship between Nina and Matthias. I just feel like I'm thrown into the series a lot because there's so much that I don't understand within the world. Even though I did read the Shadow and Bone trilogy, I feel like maybe I should have read that first before going into this. But it's really interesting so far. They have almost made it to the ice castle where the shoe scientist is being held. I finished her and promptly went to bed last night, and I gave it 3.5 stars. I really do wish that I reread Shadow and Bone trilogy first. Not that they have anything to do with each other. The only similar part is that it's within the same world and Nina is the same character. I feel like it would have acclimated, is that the word, me better into this world, but I did really like it. With fantasy books, you either just like the world or, you know, you're confused as fuck and you hate it. But I sort of fall in between it, that I am confused as fuck, but not so much that I hate it. It's more so that it's actually keeping me interested in wanting to keep going. I will say that Hannah actually liked Crooked Kingdom more. I think she gave Six of Crows 4 stars and Crooked Kingdom 5. It didn't feel right to read like a sequel because I didn't know how much I would be able to talk about it. Evelyn Hugo is very much like Marilyn Monroe, and she is quite the icon. She's an, quote, aging and reclusive Hollywood movie icon, and she wants her story told. So she chooses this unknown magazine reporter named Monique Grant and will give her an exclusive story on her entire life. Evelyn has had a long career and a string of husbands, and Monique is determined to take this opportunity to make a name for herself and jumpstart her career. You're taken along for a ride on Evelyn Hugo's entire glamorous and not so glamorous life. I worked out today, already showered, and we're getting ready for dinner with my mango margarita. I'm finally using my shaker. It's a good time. Added more fruit this time, so it actually tastes like mango. It's so good. But what you're here for is the book that I finished. I started and finished The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo today, and I totally was like expecting something different. I think I was confusing the premise yet again with The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. Oh my god. I don't know what it was about that year with the Sevens and the Evelyns. I actually woke up early today, like 8:30 on a Saturday, to make some garlic bread in time for lunch. I was able to finish a 12-hour audiobook in really good time. I am not sure what I want to rate it. Evelyn's life is definitely a roller coaster. It's very interesting. She did a lot of things to survive, but mostly to create a life for herself, the one that she had envisioned for herself. This was my first Taylor Jenkins Reid book. I think it's a 4-star because the story was really interesting to me, and it reminds me of Marilyn Monroe, so it gave me a lot of my Week with Marilyn vibes. She doesn't have the same problems as Marilyn, but like in terms of being this beauty icon, this acting icon, and just like America's sweetheart and a lot of marriages. I really enjoyed hearing about her life. There wasn't anything that I was like super in love with. She's definitely a really complicated person who did a lot of things just to have this life for herself. She wanted fame, and she wanted to always be on people's minds and a household name, and that is what she created for herself. That's what I have to say about that. Clockwork Angel. This is the first book in the Infernal Devices trilogy, and within the Shadowhunter world that Cassandra Clare has brilliantly created. So Tessa goes from New York to England to look for her brother after her aunt has died, and there she is kidnapped by the Dark Sisters, who are part of the Pandemonium Club. Tessa soon realizes that she has powers or an ability unlike no other, and the Magister claims Tessa's life, and he wants to marry her to be able to take his power for her own. When Tessa is rescued by the Shadowhunters, she figures out this whole entire other world. As Tessa is drawn deep into a plot that threatens to destroy the Shadowhunters, she realizes that she may need to choose between saving her brother and helping her new friend save the world, and that love may be the most dangerous magic of all. I'm reading the book, Clockwork Angel. I believe this is her favorite in the Shadowhunter series, and I also didn't know that the City of Bones trilogy that I was supposed to read first. This is my first ever Cassandra Clare book. Although I didn't read the City of Bones trilogy first, I actually still really like how this is going. I don't feel lost at all. It doesn't feel at all info dumpy. I don't know, there might be some information that I'm missing having not read City of Bones, but I do really like it so far. I'm not yet halfway through. I'm on page 228. It's taking me a little bit too long to finish this, not because it's boring, but because I'm not putting in the time to read it. It's really good so far. I don't really know what else to say. Tessa, she's met like Will and Jem and stuff, and Camille. I guess we're gonna be getting into the good part. I've never read a fantasy like this before. I like it so far. That's all I have to say. I wish I had like live reactions of what I was reading. Hello, I am on page 408. I've read like 100 pages today. Completely ignored my reading vlog readings because I was so invested in this book. First of all, I had an inkling about the Magister. Not about who it was, but that they thought it was the wrong person. It felt too easy. I was like, no, it seems too easy to already know who the villain is. And wow, it was so gripping, and I feel like I needed this. It's helping me get out of my reading slump, and I am so invested. It was running at 4 stars for me, but from here it's getting me really, really excited. The twist, it's keeping me on my toes. I want to know what's gonna happen. I didn't expect so much. How do I say this without ruining it? Okay, you know what? I'm gonna put a little spoiler thing, so if you haven't seen it, mute it, skip it, whatever. I didn't expect the betrayal. I didn't think that of Nate. I didn't think that a mundane would be the Magister. Or maybe, I don't know, that if Mortmain is actually a mundane, or he's just faking it, or he's just really flying under the radar here. But I'm really afraid because I don't know what's gonna happen now. Tessa is back at the Institute with like none of the Shadowhunters there to protect her. Second of all, my favorite character thus far is Jem. What a sweetheart. He's so sweet, he's soft, I feel for him. I was listening to his story while he was telling Tessa what happened to him, and I just kind of wanted to like hold his hand and cry for him. Tessa's like, okay, you know? The world is really interesting to me so far. I definitely don't read a lot of fantasy, but I'm really actually enjoying this. But before moving on through the rest of the Clockwork Angel series, I might delve first into the City of Bones trilogy to figure out more about the world and see what else there is to know. I guess I will update you when I'm finished. I kind of want to finish this today, but I said I'm in the middle of a reading vlog and I have to read my other book that I actually am excited about. But this is like too good right now. What the heck? Oh my god. I finally finished the book. It took me a little bit too long, a little bit way too long than I was hoping to, but I really, really enjoyed it. I was looking at all the reviews of this book because this book is obviously very popular. People think the Mortal Instruments were better. Some people think the Infernal Devices is better. There are a lot of previews, so I am really excited for the next book, The Clockwork Prince, but I also am interested obviously in picking up Mortal Instruments and reading more about this world. I still think that Jem is my favorite. Tessa is a little bit blah for me. I don't hate her. I don't think she's like bad or anything, or good. Will is sweet but a little bit too annoying, but I am interested in hearing more about him and why he's the way that he is. He's very secretive. This was really good. I'm giving it 5 stars. It's been like a month since I've given a book 5 stars, so I'm a little bit afraid, but I really, really enjoyed this. I have a feeling that it might be my favorite for this vlog. I already want to buy the rest of the books in this trilogy. Also, I have to read the Mortal Instruments, I guess. Of course, the book is going to end in a cliffhanger, so I have to know what's going to happen next. So I'm like, should I finish the Infernal Devices first before picking up the Mortal Instruments? Not really sure, but wow. And lastly, I read The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I really like this step back, I guess. And I got this on Depop. It smells a little funky and like cigarettes, but still really glad that I was able to find it used. The circus is a night circus. It appears very mysteriously. You never know when it's going to arrive. It travels the world this way, and it is very monochrome with little hints of red. And there are two magicians, Marco and Celia, and they are pitted against each other. The circus is their venue. There can only be one left standing, but they are unsure of how to go about this duel. You basically just display your magic and see who does it best. There's also a bit of a romance that occurs, which sort of throws the duel off course. I can't believe this is my first check-in for the Night Circus because I'm hoping to finish it today. I kept thinking of doing an update, but I just didn't know what to say about this book because I'm kind of confused. I'm not paying too much attention to the dates because paying attention to them is confusing. I did start to pay attention after the part where they were like, Poppet screamed, and then I realized that the next chapter was like a year later. I just find it a lot more confusing because the dates not consecutive, so the chapters are jumping back and forth. That's why I don't really know how to feel about this book. One, the idea of the circus, it's very captivating. And I'm interested, and it seems very ethereal, I guess. I don't know how to describe it well, but I am intrigued by it. But then I don't get the romance between Celia and Marco, and I don't really get the point of the competition because it says it's going to be a duel between two young magicians, but it's not really a duel. Like, I thought it would be head-on, we're doing this type of duel, and it's more like it's gonna last decades. I don't know how interesting that part is for me. Reading about the circus is really interesting. I don't really get the whole side story about why Bailey is involved with the twins. I'm kind of in the same boat as when I read the 5th season, where I was kind of indifferent and I didn't quite know how to feel. I'm hoping that if I watch Hannah's review video of this from like 5 years ago will help to clarify what's going on and solidify my own thoughts about this as well. Alrighty, I finished the book a while ago and then I went to make dinner, and I have now watched Hannah's The Night Circus review video twice so I can clarify my thoughts, and it definitely did help me to do that. One, I definitely agree that the writing is so unique and I think it's very well done. It definitely takes you into the world of the circus, and though I've only been as a kid, an experience that I don't remember, I've only been told that I hid under the seats because I was afraid of the clowns, but you can experience it along with the characters, and there are parts written in second person or when Friedrich Thiessen is describing it. It really takes you into that world. However, it's not really plot driven, and though Hannah says it's character driven, I didn't find it to be that way. I didn't really get to know the characters well enough to say that I fell in love with them or even loved the romance in the way that she did. I will say that it does seem really romantic and that Marco and Celia did seem destined to be together, but I didn't know enough about them to like care all that much. And oh my god, this is so much worse because I have watched her video twice of her talking about how much she loves it, and you can tell she exudes so much of that energy out of how much she appreciates this book and loves it. And here I am telling you that it was just okay for me. I think I'm giving it 3 stars. I feel like this whole video is a mess and I feel so unprepared, and I even curled my hair for this because Hannah has gorgeous curly hair. I'm also wearing this dress because I actually discovered the brand Faithful the brand through Hannah, and this was the first dress that I got from them, and I absolutely love this dress. I felt like it was the perfect dress to wear for this video. I don't feel like I described these books correctly, but I can't be bothered to curl my hair again because guess what? I'm lazy and the back is actually not curled. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. I am so glad I was able to come out of this with a new favorite read because guess what? I promptly went to Barnes & Noble, purchased these. I might save this for another video. I'm not sure, for a Smash or Pass. If you can guess who it is, leave down below who you think it might be. And actually, my current read right now, I actually just started it today. I'm like 2 pages in. I really enjoy Leigh Bardugo's writing and this world, so I'm really excited to get into this, and I absolutely love these sprayed edges. If you enjoyed, please give this video a big thumbs up, even though it's such a mess. Let me know who you would like to see in the Smash or Pass series. I should be coming out with another one this year. I'm saying this so I can keep myself accountable. Please give it a big thumbs up, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.